Alright guys, we are here to discuss the YesWelder Mig Pro 250, and we'll do some comparison with the YesWelder 205 to kind of show you the difference. There's a lot of videos on this welder here, ones you can look at and see, and the people showing you how to use it and whatnot. It's a great machine. What there is not a lot of is this YesWelder Mig Pro 250. So I've played around with this, done some tests with it. I'm here to kind of give you a walkthrough through this thing, show you some of the settings, and we will go from there. So first of all, I'll go through the leads and show you what I like and what I don't like about these things, the inside of the machine, and show you how to load the wire up, and we'll go through there. So here we go. First of all, I do like that it's a European style. I will show you there's a slight difference between these and the 205. Not much. Nothing to even be concerned about, really. So, if you look at these, this is the 205 and this is the MIG 250. It's just a little heftier, harder, thicker plastic than this is here. Other than that, they look very similar. They have the same gaskets, the same connections. It just looks like this one has a little bit better machining than this one does, but that could just be, someone versus someone else doing it, taking a little bit more time for this one. And then you go down further, you can see the difference. And then this has the plastic spring here. This has the metal spring, but it does slide up inside the gun a little bit. This one does not. This one has the little ball feature. This one does not. And you keep going. This one has YesWelder written on the cable. This one does not. It just has CO2 welding cable. And then you keep on going down to the guns. So this is the 250 and this is the 205. I've used the 205 a lot lately, just trying to test it out. Trying to put through this one some of the test, just comparing them. But let me set these down for a second. This is a screw-on. Probably normal size tip and all that. What I expect, here in the U.S., this is pretty common because the insulator is part of the tip there. So this one, for this one, you twist a little bit and then pull, and it has this little twist pull spring lock in here. This is a little easier to change out, in my opinion. Probably not so much when it's hot, but when it isn't. And it came with the tips that have flat points on either side, so it's a little easier to grip if they get too over tightened. Other than that, it's a little bit different here. Not a whole lot, but the gun feels identical, the same trigger, just one slightly longer than the other. Also, there we go, we'll run them up. So, but the same arch and everything that's there. So that's all for the MIG gun. I mean, that's a big part of the machine here. Let's set this over here. The other thing I noticed on these machines is that the negative and positive of your dense connectors are opposite, which threw me for a loop. This doesn't show a plus or minus on this one. It just has a red or black. And then this one shows a plus here and a minus on this side. So when you're welding, this goes into this one, and this is your ground, versus this is opposite. So this one goes into this one, and this one is your ground. I did it backwards, not paying attention to the colors, and the weld was going crazy on me. Other than that, that's good. We'll go to the ground clamps. So the ground clamps are what changes a lot. And this is one part I'm disappointed with YesWelder and this aspect of this machine. They're both about the same. They look similar. This one's got a bolt on each side. This has got a pop rivet and then a bolt on this side. Yeah, let me flip these over. They're slightly different. This one feels better in the hand, but you can tell this one's a little bit better constructed. But the only downfall is, if you can see inside here, this band here is very thin and minute compared to the one that they put in the 205. So 250, which is kind of different, this little bitty copper wire in there versus this great big old thicker one in this one. So, but the cables feel the same. This one is 10 feet long. This one is 6 feet long. This one's a 205, that's 10 feet long, and the 250 gives you 6 feet long. That's one thing I don't like about it. Other than that, I would live with that because I would probably eventually change this out if I decide to keep this machine, and definitely have a much longer cable. So, and the ground lead, where did I put the, here it is. This one for the 250 is a 6 foot, 200 amp stick lead, which is kind of odd to me. They send you a 200 rated amp stick lead for a 250 amp machine. So I don't recommend getting too hot with this. And then what did I do with the, here it is, I need to be right back. So here's the stick lead for the 205. It's just 10 foot long, and it says it's rated for, I want to say 300 amps. So you get to me, a slightly better stick lead for the 205 machine, the blue machine. And it feels better in the hand to me. And it's 10 feet long again. So there's this side. That's not that big of a deal, but it's something to note. And here's the user manual for your 205 or your 250. Very basic. It's got a few pictures in there. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. You better, if you do buy this machine, I do recommend you having some MIG experience and some ability to mess with the MIG machine. Because you'll have a lot of settings that you can play with in this machine versus this machine is a lot more user friendly. Hence the reason why it says Pro. So I would recommend you be somewhat skilled to mess with that machine. This one is a little easier, a little nicer manual. They pretty much say the same thing. They have, this one's just in black and white versus color. There's a few extra pages, I think, in this one than there is in that one. You both get a cheesy chipping hammer that barely works. I do not recommend using this thing unless you're in a pinch. There's much better options out there and cheaper options. Won't cost you a whole lot. Let's set this to the side here. So, as you can tell in this one, we've got two latches. Pull down. There's no lip on the door. It does have these bevels cut into it with these tabs here. Inside, you have an all-metal roller assembly, which I like a lot. Very easy to get to. It's not too bad. I mean, it is behind that a little bit, but everything you need to get to is fairly easy. The only thing I have noticed with this is trying to install a 10-pound spool. You have to be somewhat pretty good at Tetris. So we'll go, I've learned that the best way, make sure your wire is feeding underneath when you do this. You have to